I'm Sharaon Swart with Hub Culture. We're at the Cannes Film Festival. Producer Joni Sighvatsson has joined us. Joni, welcome. Thank you for coming. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to here in Cannes so far.
Well, I wear two hats, since I'm the chairman of a Scandinavian film production and distribution company called Scanbox. So we buy films, mostly English language independent films, because we're an independent company. But also I'm a Los Angeles-based film producer.
Right.
So I'm producing a film that is in production, just started production in Australia. So I'm also selling that here, meeting with the particular distributors that have bought it in each territory. Because we go territory by territory, country by country. So I'm meeting them, talking about the film, what the film will be, showing them a little bit, even though we only shot for a few days, they can get a sense of what we're doing. And that's a film that's starring Jason Statham and Clive Owen and Robert De Niro, who I think are all pretty much household names today.
For sure. Great. And in terms of Scanbox, you're buying for most of Scandinavia, right?
Yeah, Scanbox is actually a 30-year-old company, and we distribute local films. So we make our own Danish films or Norwegian films. But Scandinavian films actually don't travel between the territories, so the Danish films only are screened in Denmark mostly, and vice versa.
Right.
But we also have a tradition of distributing English language independent films, both art house films, like for example right now we had great success with The Road with Viggo Mortensen, and in fact I think Scandinavia is one of the most successful territories where The Road is being shown. They actually think it's a comedy in Scandinavia, so but we've done very well there with that film.
And of course Viggo must be a big draw because of his roots.
Sure, and he's been very supportive also. And we distribute all the Julian Schnabel films, for example. Did this film Diving Bell and the Butterfly. So we also we have Scanbox as a tradition of genre film, so we distribute the Saw series. So a fairly wide range of films.
Art house to horror.
Yes, and everything in between.
Great.
So it's interesting to wear two hats because you have to buy for the territory, so you have to now value the film differently than, say, as a producer.
Right.
Because you have to value it as a buyer. So...
And the gaps are sometimes huge.
Gaps are sometimes too big, so you have to kind of switch hats and roles, but that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I originally came to America actually on a Fulbright to study film, so I spent 5 years studying in schools in America. So once I get out of school, I had to start working like everybody else, pouring coffee. And then in the mid-'80s, I started a company called Propoganda, which was right when music videos were beginning to emerge, and MTV, I think, had just been formed. So there was a need, again, for people that knew how to do something professionally, because nobody really knew how to make music videos. And we thought we knew something since we had been to film school. So we started making music videos for MTV because we couldn't really get feature films made, even though that was the desire and the training. So I ended up working with a lot of people who had the desire to make feature films but were sitting on the sidelines. And
some of them were like David Fincher and...
David Fincher, Michael Bay, Spike Jonze, Dominic Sena, who's just doing a big film with Nicolas Cage right now called Season of the Witch. Numerous others.
Is there anything that you can tell us about your upcoming projects in terms of specific projects?
Well, I have a large slate of projects that I work differently than most other film producers because I fund my own development. So a lot of people get other people to fund it. So I usually put my own money up. That way I have more control.
Right.
And I do what I call a first and second stage development. So I buy the book or buy the script, or somebody comes to me with an idea. I say, great, let's find a writer and do that. So I control my slate. Right. But sometimes I then take the projects when they have some meat on the bones and sell it to a studio, or I have a fairly large film that I'm doing with 20th Century Fox, hopefully this year, that is based on a Norwegian film from 2000 called Elling that was nominated for an Oscar. We're going to do the American version with a director called Jay Roach. So hopefully that's going to happen this year.
And what was Elling about?
Elling is about two guys that get released from a mental asylum. And you don't really know if they are a little crazy or not. But one is very big and heavy and earthy, and the other one is small and ethereal and round. And they have to learn to live in the real world in a social apartment with the help of their social worker and adjust to what the real world is like. It's a little bit like The Odd Couple. Wonderful original film, and I have a wonderful script and great director. So now it's about who's going to play the main role.
Any wish list that you could share with us?
No, I couldn't do that because then it's not a wish anymore. All wishes have to be secret. But I think we'll get a very good actor, and it's so that's exciting. So hopefully, 2 films a year is more than enough for any producer. So
yeah. Well, Joni, thank you for joining us, and good luck in Cannes.
Thank you.
Joni Sighvatsson, producer from Iceland and now living back in LA, joined us today. I'm Sharaon Swart for Hub Culture at Cannes.